Great. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us tonight and for sticking around for the Talkback. We're going to start by asking the scholars a question each from the stage, and then we'll open it up to the audience for any additional questions that you may have to any specific scholar or to the whole group. Ronan, I'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about the source materials that you were inspired by and what motivated the musical that you ended up writing this class.
Gotcha. All right. So the two main things I was inspired by were both Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari and film La La Land. So Modern Romance is basically a research book about how online dating has affected like the modern dating landscape. And none of the songs, or like one of the songs that I played today, didn't really touch on that, but the opening number delves a lot into that, mostly in the dialogue. And then La La Land is just similar because like it's a musical about two people who don't end up together just because they get so caught up in their own work. And that's like kind of where I took my main inspiration, but I put a bit more of a comedic spin on it, which shows more of the dialogue than it does in the songs. But if you want to read that, I think it's on the website.
Yeah, absolutely. You can follow the QR code in your program. Mr. Halley.
Great. Brinka, let's go over to you next. Can you tell us a little bit about when your interest in Studio Ghibli films began?
That's like a hard question, but then I've been watching Studio Ghibli films since I was little. I'm not particularly like anime fan, but only the anime I like absolutely loved was Studio Ghibli. And then as I started to do this project for Scholar, I really wanted to do something that combines my childhood, so that's why I decided to pick Studio Ghibli and violin, which I also started when I was really young, and yeah.
Thank you, Rinka. Esther, your play deals with sexual assault, but you frame it in a way that is different from what we may be accustomed to seeing in other plays, films, and TV shows. What was your mission, so to speak, when you decided to take up on this topic?
So when I was writing it, I wanted to focus a lot more on the effect it had, and instead of just focusing on the effect of the person, which is obviously going to be a lot, I wanted to look at how it may affect friends specifically, teenagers especially, because people know about it, but they may not actually have experience with it, because people don't. It's not something a lot of people talk about. So I was focusing a lot on how it affected the friends, and so that's why we see scenes like the one we saw today, where Maeve isn't actually even in the scene.
Great. James, can you tell us a little bit about your interest in the style of drumming that you were sharing with us tonight?
Yeah. Excuse me. I promise I won't talk as long this time. So my interest began when I first listened to Steely Dan, their album Asia. The drummers had played on Dirty Old Man and Way Back Home, Rick Marod and Steve Gadd played on those. And I thought the drumming style was really unique without sounding too weird or indecipherable. It still sounded very good, and I thought it really added a lot to the feel of the song, pushed the group forward, which is why I was inspired to talk about it and why I took an interest in it in the first place.
And Onion, tell us a little bit about your process of composing these tracks, working with these pre-existing tracks that you licensed, and then laying your lyrics on top of them.
So I started finding beats, like instruments and stuff, to start my song. I'm really picky of this part, so I'm just hearing over and over every single beat until I find something that really fits my ears. And I bought it for the amount of money to get a license for it, and I start putting a lot of ideas on it and view on the vibe of the beat. And after I got the whole draft, I just fixed the lyrics, and I start recording on GarageBand for the ad-libs or the harmonies that you guys heard from the song, and that's all.
Thank you so much, Onion. We'd like to take a few questions from the audience. If you have a question, raise your hand and try to project. I'll repeat your question once we've heard it. Don't be shy. Let me ask a follow-up question then to the group while perhaps our audience contemplates further. What future plans do you have for these projects, if any? Do you see life beyond Williston Scholars for the work that you have created?
I definitely want to keep developing this project. Going into this, I've never written a musical before, or like even a play. The only thing I came close to was adapting a play before that, and I don't know, it was kind of a weird process because I don't know how to write music and I can't play piano, so that was just me using the only notes I knew, which were the opening notes of Take On Me, and just forming those into chords by playing through the notes at a time. But I definitely want to continue learning how to write music because it was a fun process despite me like going through it in an unconventional way. So yeah, I think I will try to finish the musical at some point.
You wanna?
I'm interested in making like a more of it like a full act. So the play I wrote is only 5 scenes because of how like the time constraint of the trimester. And I'd be interested in making it kind of like a 2-act play so that I can like delve into the characters more. Without, because there's like scenes that are referenced in the script that never actually occur within it, and I want to maybe write those out.
So 2 of those songs are in my album, 12 Zodiac. The first song is Aries for Rising Star, and the second song, a little bit more in English, is Scorpio. And I'm just gonna keep recording and finish my album with a bunch of songs.
Thank you, scholars. I'll open it up again to the audience for questions. Thank you. I'll go to the fellow in the bright red shirt.
This is a question for Ronan. What inspired, or like, why the decision to skip between years so much? Like you said, there was like 1 year between the first and second song, and then like 5 years between a couple other songs. Why is that the best decision for like the characters and the story?
In all honesty, I did not have time to write the in-between. But no, I think it was a cool thing to do. Like, it makes more sense when you're reading the actual dialogue that like you just keep hopping into these people's lives as they do. Like they don't interact with each other in the years between, so you're only seeing those moments where they do interact with each other, like period at that time. So I think it just like gives the feel that like it kind of like centers around just their relationship and how they interact with each other.
Thank you. I'll scrap the first half of that question from my grading tomorrow. You have a question in the bags. It's June one, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Go ahead.
What kind of help did you all receive from your friends, and were they like really helpful?
Hey.
How does it like help foster creativity?
Excellent. So what kind of help do you receive for your friends, and how did it foster creativity? Excellent question. Yeah.
Well, so a lot of people was helping me in this project, not only friends, also teachers. Like I shout for Mr. Rilla and Miss Cody, who really helped me go through the lyrics, and Canon, he helped me to like finding a lot of harmonies for the song, and a lot of all these people who inspire me a lot, and they are really important to me. And thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the people on stage today who helped me just by being there. But I also really like I had people read over my thing, like, you know, Amber or Isabel Baxter Harris. They both helped me a lot reading over my thing. Yeah, I also went to the writing center a lot, and I helped. Just like sometimes when you're writing, I realized there was plot holes where I like mentioned something because I thought it would be like fun, and then I'd never like bring it up again, so it wasn't really that important. So just like noticing those things that you might not think about, I guess.
Thank you both.
There's one more over here.
Yeah, what's that?
Sorry, there's James was going to address
My apologies. We'll go to James and I'll take a question in the back.
There's a person in this room. He's not a drummer. He's a piano player, but he's a very competent musician. He gave me some very scathing feedback. But he was also the person who recommended that I make a slideshow, that I play the songs without the grooves first, and then play with the grooves afterwards to create a contrast to let the audience better understand what's happening. So I really appreciate that person in the room with us right now.
Excellent. Thank you, scholars. We'll take one last question in the back.
I have a quick question for James Vaughn. So, with your knowledge of these groups, do you have further plans in the future to write something original by yourself, or come up with a sequence of drum beats that's original to you?
I'll just repeat that for people who didn't hear it.
Do you plan to write a song yourself?
The question is, now that you've studied these grooves, do you have plans to write original music?
I think I'd have to acknowledge music theory first, but I can notate my own grooves. There's an excellent website called groovescribe.com. Everybody should check it out. And I do write music. It's called improvising all the time in the jazz band. So go on to YouTube, check out those videos, please. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, thank you everyone in the audience for joining us today, and thank you scholars. Congratulations on a successful Spotlight Showcase. Enjoy your evening, folks.